Aloha, my name is Kalana Johnson, and I am the owner of KJC Tax Preparation and Bookkeeping. Today, I want to take a moment to talk to you about the new requirements under the American Rescue Act for the various payment provider services. Today, the first one I want to talk about is Cash App and record keeping with Cash App and how you're going to make sure that you stay in compliance with the IRS requirements. So let's get started. Now, the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 significantly modifies the reporting threshold associated with Form 1099-K, which is the payment card and third-party network transactions. It changes them from a $20,000 in aggregate payment and 200 transaction requirement to solely a threshold of $600 in aggregate payments with no minimum transaction requirements. The new rule is effective beginning with all payment transactions settled after December 31st, 2021. Now, there are a lot of things being passed around via social media, people talking that are stating that anything you do through these services is at risk and you're going to be taxed on it. That is not true. The purpose of this is to track business transactions, not your personal transactions. So if you are a small business owner that is using Cash App for record keeping, I am going to show you how you do this in a way that is compliant with the IRS and make sure that you have your records in order for the end of the year, as well as just going forward in general to make sure that you're doing good bookkeeping. So the first thing you want to do in Cash App, if you are going to use Cash App for a payment service, is you want to use the quote unquote invoice feature of Cash App. Now, if you're a person that uses Cash App a lot, you're probably saying it doesn't have an invoice feature. Well, actually, technically it does. It is the request feature. And for those that never have ever used it, it's this button right here. Okay? So you're going to use that feature. You're going to set the invoice amount to whatever the amount is for your services. So let's say for tax preparation, I'm going to bill a customer $150 for processing their federal and state tax returns. So I'm going to enter $150 and then I'm going to click the request button. Once I do that, I'm now at the screen where I tell it who I'm sending the request to. Who are you invoicing? So up here, you're going to fill out the customer's name or their Cash App tag is what would actually go in here if they're already not a saved contact. And then in the memo line here, this is the key line. I'm going to type in what this was for. So in this instance, I've got 2020 federal state tax preparation. That's very important because that's going to save in your Cash App and it's going to help us in your record keeping all the way across, okay? Next, I would go ahead and send that invoice by clicking the request button. So now we're looking at my customer has paid me. Here it is, plus $150 coming in. After the payment has been received, the first thing you want to do is click on the payment, and then you're going to click the three dots that are in the upper right of the screen. When you do that, you're going to get this little menu. You want to click on Web Receipt. Okay? It's going to pop up a box that looks like this. You want to do two things. You want to click your share icon up here, and it'll give you options of how to share it. My recommendation is to choose to email it to your business email account or to save it to your business cloud, like Google Drive, for example. And then the other thing you're going to do on this screen is you're going to take note of this identifier right here. This is the number that references your transaction in the Cash App system, and you want to write that down and take note of it. Once you do that, we're done with Cash App side of it. Now to complete the record keeping process, because the The key to making sure that you have good record keeping for the IRS is to make sure you've got that transaction noted in several different places where you can easily cross-reference and say, see, it's here, it's here, it's here, it's here, it's here. Okay? So at this point now, what we're looking at is my bank. And I have told Cash App to cash out to my business bank account the money from that $150 transaction. So what I've done, and most bank accounts have this ability, if you look into it and you log in, either you can do it on your online and you may also be able to do it through your banking app. What you're going to do is edit the description. So I edited the description to say payment, KJC tax, invoice 1000. Now I use that description because I actually bill through QuickBooks and I have an invoice number. If you don't, you could say 2020 federal and state tax preparation for whoever, your customer's name, okay? The next thing that I also edit is I come down to merchant name. Cash App will default to say Square Cash. I click edit and I add that identifier right here. Now I have the record of that transaction noted both in my bank as well as the Cash App system. Now I can prove it across that it's a business transaction, which is what the IRS is looking for. Okay. Now I'm going to show you one more step that you could do if you're a person like me that uses QuickBooks. After I do those two steps, I then go back into my QuickBooks and I note on the original invoice that I sent her from QuickBooks that it was paid. So now you see here, paid, my customer's name would be there. There's $150 paid 12 days ago, and it's there. I now have that transaction noted in 3 different locations. That is good bookkeeping for small business, and that's our goal and what we want to do. Now, I know if you're just starting out, you're probably thinking that is a lot of steps, and I don't know if I can remember to do all of that. Don't worry. The more you do it, the more it becomes second nature, and you'll find yourself doing it without even thinking about it. It'll just be an automatic process for you. However, if you need assistance with bookkeeping, that is one of our services. We are happy to assist you in handling that for you and for your small business. So you can definitely reach out to us for that. Thank you again for watching this video. Please feel free to share with others. There are more videos coming for each of the payment services with step-by-step instructions. Our goal is to help everyone, whether you are our client or not, be compliant with the IRS in these new regulations.